September 4, 2018. A woman walks into federal court in San Jose, California. Blonde hair. Black turtleneck. Red lipstick. She's worth absolutely nothing. But 10 years ago? $9 billion. Today she's facing 20 years in prison for the most audacious medical fraud in Silicon Valley history. Her crime? She promised a revolutionary blood test. One drop. Hundreds of diseases detected. The future of healthcare. Except the device never worked. Not once. Not ever. And she knew it the entire time. Rewind to 2003. 19-year-old Elizabeth Holmes drops out of Stanford and pitches investors with a story they can't resist. I'm terrified of needles. My uncle died of cancer that could have been caught early. This technology will save millions of lives. The investors are mesmerized. A 19-year-old girl genius. The next Steve Jobs. Changing healthcare forever. They write checks. By 2004, she's raised $6 million. There's just one problem nobody's talking about. The technology doesn't work. Fast forward to 2010. 7 years of research. Hundreds of millions spent. The device still doesn't work. This is the moment that defines everything. Elizabeth has a choice. Tell the truth and watch her company die. Or lie and keep the dream alive. She chooses the lie. She names the device Edison. Genius branding. Thomas Edison. American innovation. Revolutionary technology. But here's the truth. Edison can only run about 12 tests. Not 200 like she's promising. And even those 12 barely work. So Elizabeth does something absolutely insane. She secretly runs all the blood tests on regular commercial machines. The same ones every hospital uses. Then displays those results on Edison's screen. Makes it look like Edison did the work. It's complete fraud. But here's the crazy part. Nobody checks. Nobody asks questions. By 2013, she's raised $400 million. Bloomberg. Forbes. Fortune. They call her the youngest self-made female billionaire in history. Her board of directors? Henry Kissinger. Former Secretary of State. George Shultz. Former Secretary of State. James Mattis. Future Secretary of Defense. These are men with access to nuclear launch codes. And not one of them asks to see the technology actually work. Then comes Walgreens. They're panicking, their competitor CVS just launched MinuteClinic and they're losing ground. Elizabeth walks in with the perfect pitch. Wellness centers inside every Walgreens in America. Revolutionary blood tests while customers pick up their prescriptions. The executives are salivating. Do they demand proof? Do they ask to see the technology work? No. They write a check. $140 million. September 2013. The first Theranos wellness centers open in Arizona. Customers are excited. They walk in. A technician pricks their finger. One tiny drop of blood. Results in a few hours. Except here's what's really happening behind that wall. Employees are taking your blood. Diluting it with saline. Running it through those same old Siemens machines. And because the blood is diluted, the results are wrong. Cancer screenings giving false negatives. Pregnancy tests giving false positives. Diabetes readings completely inaccurate. Real people making life-changing medical decisions based on tests that are fundamentally broken. And Elizabeth knows. She's reading the lab reports. She sees the errors. She keeps going anyway. When employees raise concerns, they're fired immediately. When a lab director resigns saying the results are dangerous, Elizabeth replaces him the same day. But one employee refuses to stay quiet. Tyler Shultz. George Shultz's own grandson. He sees the fraud every single day. He goes to his grandfather. Grandfather, people are getting hurt. This is fraud. George Shultz has a choice. Believe his own grandson. Or believe Elizabeth Holmes. He chooses Elizabeth. So Tyler becomes a whistleblower. A decision that will cost him everything, including over $400,000 in legal fees just for telling the truth. October 2015. Wall Street Journal reporter John Carreyrou gets an anonymous tip. Theranos is a complete fraud. He starts digging. Former employees willing to talk. Test results compared to standard labs. The differences are massive. Life-threateningly massive. Elizabeth finds out. Does she provide data proving her technology works? No. She threatens to destroy him. She calls Rupert Murdoch, the billionaire who owns the Wall Street Journal and personally invested $125 million in Theranos, and demands he kill the story. Murdoch does something unexpected. He tells his editors, publish it if it's true. October 15, 2015. Front page. The empire starts crumbling immediately. Federal regulators descend. Their official report? Immediate jeopardy to patient health and safety. January 2016. Theranos voids 2 years of test results. Hundreds of thousands of patients getting letters saying your results were wrong. Everything you were told was potentially false. June 2018. 11 counts of massive fraud. January 3, 2022. Guilty. November 2022. 11 years and 3 months in federal prison. May 30, 2023. Elizabeth Holmes walks into federal prison in Bryan, Texas. Prisoner number 24,965-111. So what actually killed Theranos? 3 things. First, the fundamental lie. Every demo was theater. Every result was from regular machines. It was all smoke and mirrors from day one. Second, the cult of personality. Powerful men saw a young woman in a Steve Jobs turtleneck and stopped asking questions. George Shultz chose her over his own grandson. Nobody did their homework. Third, Silicon Valley's most dangerous idea. Fake it till you make it. But you can't fake blood tests. You can't iterate your way to medical accuracy. Breaking things in healthcare means breaking actual human beings. This wasn't failure. This was choice. Every single day for over a decade Elizabeth Holmes chose deception over truth. She chose money over patience. She chose her image over people's lives. And here's the most terrifying part. She almost got away with it. If one reporter hadn't been brave enough to investigate. If one whistleblower hadn't sacrificed everything. She'd still be out there right now. Still lying. Still raising money. Still harming patients. The next Theranos is being built right now. The question is whether we'll catch them before they hurt people. Or after. Case closed.